Today's video is going to surprise everyone because it's about all the things that I liked in FF7 Remake and Rebirth. So I tweeted out, people ask me if there's anything I like about FF7 Remake or Rebirth at all. Believe it or not, there is, and I'll list it below. Sorry for the TLDR. 1, I enjoy the remixes of For Those Who Fight and the Airbuster boss theme. They felt like FF7 on steroids. The slow-motion bullet time when you use ATB was fun. I'm a sucker for the Matrix, and it's a step up from FF15, where it just pauses mid-battle. Yeah, no, I mean, if you see my Rebirth streams, whenever I go into the ultra slow-mo, I'm just messing around heaps. I'm just like, oh my god. Stuff like that's fun to me. Number 3, the synergy attacks were fun. You can't really go wrong with Tifa and Barret doing a team-up attack. However, I wouldn't say this is a win for modern Final Fantasy's action combat, because at the end of the day, this technique was made famous in Chrono Trigger, a turn-based game. Yeah, ATB, no one cares, alright. But still, all that aside, synergy attacks were fun. I used Cat Sith and Barret's one a lot, because it just looked really stupid. There's a scene where Dio tries to give Cloud a crushing handshake. It's after Dine's death, and you see Cloud look at him and just squeeze back mildly, and it hurts Dio's hand. He's just like, hang on. Now, this should be impossible, alright? Because Dio probably weighs about 100 kilos more than Cloud in pure muscle. This, I thought, was a cool, subtle way of showing how insanely strong Cloud is, despite his build. Cloud's not necessarily a physically big character, but he is insanely strong. Number 5, in Cloud's flashback where the bridge breaks, the soldiers, Sephiroth, Tifa, Cloud, they all fall into the river below, and everyone is swept away by it, except Sephiroth. He is completely unaffected by it. And you see him just standing there, and he kind of just like effortlessly walks through it. This raging torrent, and just grabs Tifa, who just is powerless in the face of all this water. Zack gets swept away, Cloud, and so on. This is a cool, subtle way to show Sephiroth's immense strength. The last one is, and this is the most important one to me, I thought the expanded flashback of Aeris as a child with Ifalna was strong. Because when you're walking around as this little girl, just trying to find someone to help her dying mother, it was pretty powerful and emotional. You know, I actually felt something, believe it or not. Especially in Japanese. I'm not knocking the English VA, but the Japanese VA for Aeris as a kid is like pitch perfect. It made me sad. It made me sadder than when she actually died. However, it didn't need the part where a man pushes Aeris to the ground and says, "And stay down, brat!" And then his girlfriends laugh at how cool he is for pushing a child. Alright, that actually happens. This is kids show writing, man. This is like something out of like I don't know, high school bully Power Rangers stuff. It's just, that was unnecessary. But apart from that, it was the one scene that I thought was expanded upon authentically. It felt true to the spirit of the original 1997 game. I have a short where I talk about how I thought the scene was authentically done. But the tragedy of that scene is it just shows you they could have done that for the rest of the game. They didn't need to just change the tone so wildly and bloat it and make these characters into jokes and stuff. They actually just could have just made them more of who they really are. And anyone who says, oh, well, how do you do that? Examples already exist, okay? There's The Warriors, the PS2 game, which is a game whose story leads up to the events of the film that the game is based on, and it feels fully authentic. Everything they wrote for that movie, despite being something like 20 years after the film, it feels authentic. It feels like these are the characters, this is their world. And I think the other one is probably, I haven't played it, but it's Scarface. The game begins where he actually survives the shootout at the end of the film, but then he's back to square one, you gotta build up again. Everyone I know who's played Scarface says that all the new scenes, all the new story was like very authentic. It was very truthfully expanded upon. So it can be done. This has been done before. There was no need to change it so much. That's one of my main issues. I mean, that's the tragedy of FF7 Remake and Rebirth, is that it's actually not all that bad. You get glimpses of how good it could have been, and that in a way is even worse.